In Unit 1, Section 3 here, in 3A, we're going to look at just identifying linear functions or equations. And basically what you remember about anything being linear is that it can either be written in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, and we'll talk about standard form here in a little bit, but you have looked a little bit at that in the past, and ax plus by equals c. Or you have like special case lines, like a horizontal line is like y equals a number or anything like that. Anything with, multiple variables within a term in an equation, variables under a square root, anything with x squared, which is really quadratic, none of that stuff is linear, or x's in denominators and things like that. We're going to look at number 1 here first, and if you notice in number 1, we have y equals -5 plus 2x right here. And that could be written as y equals 2x minus 5. And if you notice, that's in slope-intercept form, so that is yes. So you can take a look at the other ones in 1 through 8 here. Identifying linear. You've talked a lot about linear and things that are not linear. In Section 3B, we are going to write linear equations in standard form. So this ax plus by is equal to c. And then we're going to identify a, b, and c. Some things you want to know about standard form. In standard form, the x term, I'm going to make that a little smaller. Let's erase that. The x must be positive. So you're going to want to move the x term to the side of the equation to make sure it's positive. Okay? No fractions for any of the numbers. And I'll show you an example here of how to get rid of them. And you also need to make sure that there's not a common factor of all the numbers in an equation. Like if you could divide them all by 2, divide them all by 3, things like that. So we're going to look at number 10 here. We have 30 minus 15y minus 6x equals 0. And we want to get it in ax plus by equals c form. Now, if you notice, the first thing you want to find is locate your x term. I see here on the left side, it's negative 6x. That tells me right away I can't keep it on that side because it's got a negative. We cannot have the x term be negative. X must always be positive. So we're going to move it over. We're going to add 6x to both sides. Okay, so I have 30 minus 15y is equal to 6x. Now we're going to get the y term on that side. So we're going to undo it on this side by adding 15y. We're going to add 15y. So I have 30 equals 6x plus 15y. Now, we've got it in ax plus by equals c form, which is our x and y are on the right, but that's okay. It doesn't matter which side you bring it to. But what I want you to notice is, if you look at all the numbers, there is a common factor of all those numbers. And you can only do this if it's an equation. You can't do it if it's just an expression. They are all divisible by 3. So we're going to divide every one of them by 3. And again, you can only do this if you have an equation. So it's 10 is equal to 2x plus 5y. We're almost reducing the equation down to by dividing by that common factor. Now, we need to identify a, b, and c. So a would be 2, b would be 5. B is what's in front of y once you get it in that form. And then c would be 10. So you're giving the equation in standard form and giving what a, b, and c are.